Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
That was pretty tasty.
I can't believe that was my first beer of the day. That's what's crazy.
Your first beer?
That is the first one of the day.
What about bourbon?
No, I haven't had one of those yet either. Which is kind of strange. I'm on vacation, but I haven't had a whiskey. It's already 1 o'clock.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you?
It's not standard operating procedure.
Yeah. I'm sure we could change that.
Goodness, it's going to be a long day.
It's definitely going to be a day. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. So, welcome to the podcast, Intoxication Station. Here, I'm Raymond. This is my buddy Ryan. Came all the way over from Texas just to come over here and do a quick podcast with me. Pretty good time.
Long drive, but worth it.
Now, on the way in, did you see any damages from Hurricane Helena?
There's a lot of broken trees. They're already pulled from the road. A lot of that, a lot of twisted road signs.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I got a chance to see.
Yeah, because going through the I-10 corridor in Tampa, or in Florida, going through Tallahassee and whatnot, that's where everything got hit, basically.
I expected it to be a lot worse, to be honest.
Same here, which is, really unfortunate with the people up in Asheville, North Carolina. They got hit the worst.
Shockingly, it didn't hit here and be worse. It took it all the way to North Carolina to having any of that damage.
So, the thing with the hurricane, it was going at a pretty decent clip through Florida. It didn't stall out like it did up in the upper north, upper southeast section. Huge bummer for up there. Because I've seen video clips and whatnot from up there. It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, entire towns just leveled, bridges washed out, they're trapped. It's not a good situation.
No. Yeah. Luckily, there is effort being helped up that direction. I don't think anybody can blame Bush on this one.
Yeah, give him time.
Yeah.
It'll be Trump's fault.
Yeah, somehow or another.
I will say I did see a convoy of lineman trucks going up 75 when I got a chance to turn down off the panhandle coming down, so they are sending some help.
Yeah, well, hell, they were all staged down here expecting the hurricane to be worse down here, which, I mean, bummer that they were staged down here, but I'm glad that they weren't in the thick of it, because typically they'll go through and set up in like northern Alabama and whatnot.
And no one wants that.
No. Well, especially to have all the other like linemen's being staged out there and then immediately getting hit by it. Like that would be the worst part, effectively.
Still one of my favorite t-shirts ever gotten to me is When You Found That Place in Alabama.
Uncle Buck's Booby Bungalow. It's a classic.
It's almost not, I don't even want to wear it. I just want to frame it and put it on my wall with my other ridiculous stuff I have up.
It's a good one.
It's a conversation piece. For sure.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Now, did I get you the Jack Daniels inspired one? Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally went there for the t-shirts. Had to get one. I was close enough.
Independent fact checkers found that statement to be false.
Well, Cortez had a good time, if anything.
Oh, God. I can only imagine his reaction to seeing all that. For the first time, conceivably.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He learned real quick that those establishments do not run on just straight conversation. God bless him.
I wonder how long it took for him to spend his paycheck.
We were there for about 45 minutes, so 30 minutes?
I was going to say 33 minutes, so about accurate.
We're good. We're good. He's still with the company, too.
Really?
Yeah. And he turned out to be Carly's assistant, which is hilarious.
That will lead to longevity when you don't have to sit there and drive and walk all the time. Find your truck, hope it's still there.
So, I don't think they're doing any outside stuff anymore. If I'm going to be completely honest, like, Derek, he's still OSP, outside of plant manager, and I haven't seen him post anything like field related or anything. Which they did move locations. They're up in Chadworth instead of Canton, which is further north. I checked with them. They didn't get affected by any of the hurricane either, which is good.
I'm kind of sad that we missed out on the whole no more outside work thing. Sending us to the coldest places in the winter and the hottest places in the summer.
It's how it works in that line of work.
I learned that quickly.
Shitty. Very shitty.
It wasn't bad, but I think if I were 10, 15 years younger, I could have done it more.
Well, I am 10, 15 years younger, and
Sorry.
yeah.
I didn't mean to bring that up.
Yeah. You've aged like wine. I've aged like moldy gym socks.
No, it's not even that. You have a lot more going for you than you're willing to say because you're very humble about yourself.
That's a very, very nice way of saying that, fat.
No, you're very Samoan.
Also fat. But indigenous fat.
Indigenous cherub-like demeanor.
I like chairs.
Velvety voice. And a rocking a haircut that I have not seen since '83.
Yeah.
I might say.
Yeah, I mean, the styles they make rotations. Doing a part, mullet.
If they bring the rat tail back, I'm starting fires.
Yeah, that hasn't made a comeback yet.
Thank God it stayed dead.
Yeah. I had a rat tail back in the day. I was in second grade, and that was like 92.
It lasted till the 90s?
Florida.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Florida. Florida in the 90s. Florida in the 90s was fucking wild.
Z Cavarici pants next to kids who were listening to grunge rock. That was a time I won't forget. That was the death of the BMX bike. When everyone had Mongoose or BMX.
Oh.
Once 91,
Schwinn.
92 hit Schwinn, yeah. Everyone went to rollerblades and it went downhill from there.
Fruit Booters.
Although I do miss playing street hockey.
Never did that because I lived on a hill.
You didn't miss a whole lot. A lot of broken bones and
Ankles.
just fist fights for no reason.
Yeah, checks out hockey.
Well, takes balls.
Street hockey.
Yeah, that was low-hanging fruit. I shouldn't have gone for it.
Also street hockey.
You don't know the joys of clearing out a section of a Publix parking lot at 7:30 just because you know there's enough space to play a game out there. And then realizing no one cleared the rocks off the road and you're tripping.
Oh, yeah. Plus flicking up rocks and beaming people in the face with them.
Always had to have someone that had a car to bring the goals with them. Everyone else showed up on bikes or just their rollerblades with their sticks across that thing. No helmets. You had gloves, though. I never understood that. No one had any helmets, but we had gloves.
Well, your phalanges are pretty important.
Elbow pad, knee pad, no helmets.
Probably shin guards, too.
No shin guards. Those were for soccer players.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to look weird. You don't want to mix the sports.
I'm ready for the everything.
You look like a bunch of teenagers preparing for a zombie apocalypse, just strapping on whatever stuff they could get.
So, currently we're over at Hagan's in Winter Garden.
Hagan O'Reilly's.
Hagan O'Reilly's. This place has been here forever. Originally, it was owned by Irish people. Currently, it's owned by a Mexican gentleman. But he's kept pretty much everything the same since then. That's one thing that I can say about this place.
He did add the Irish taco to the menu. I don't think that was there before.
Irish taco?
Are you fact-checking me in real time?
It's not that I'm fact-checking you real time.
I promise you it was there before I left. May not be on the special menu, but it was on there. Because I remember when I had it in my office, I actually highlighted it on a paper copy. I was like, yep.
Yeah, it looks like... Well, they got a bunch of things marked out here, too. So it wouldn't surprise me if it got marked out. Maybe she got tired.
I don't know. That sounds like a pretty rocking idea.
Yeah.
Just
taco.
corned beef and cabbage in a taco.
How would you incorporate jalapenos, or would you use gravy or hot sauce?
Your choice.
Both. Hot, hot gravy,
Mm.
spicy gravy.
If it wasn't on there before, I'm obviously having a hallucination, but you're welcome to that idea.
Like, I like it. I like the idea behind it, but
Refried beans underneath, your first base layer, corned beef, cabbage, and a Guinness.
Guinness hot sauce.
I wouldn't do Guinness anyway, but I figured it's an Irish, we gotta have it.
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta have that.
Or Tully's, tell them I'll do it.
Possibly a cabbage wrap instead of a corn tortilla.
We're putting far too much thought and effort into this line.
Yeah, it's entertaining though.
I swear he did have it at one point. They do have the Irish quesadilla.
That I'm okay with. Irish quesadilla, corned beef, mashed potatoes, cheddar, green onions, served with your side of sour cream. I'm more curious to see how it would come out than anything.
Come out of what?
I imagine after eating it, it'll look like soft serve coming out.
Oh, I've seen that emoji.
They do have fish and chips.
I've always been a fan of the wings here, the boneless wings.
Oh yeah, the wings are pretty good here.
They are really good.
Yes, I mean, yeah, it's an Irish pub and whatnot, but you gotta have American staples, and wings are an American staple here.
I'm surprised you don't like the breaded pickle.
I'm upset that they don't have the Scotch eggs here anymore. From the original owners, anyways. The Scotch eggs
I
were.
mean, they got deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs are good. Don't get me wrong. I love eating a good deviled egg.
The Reuben here is good. The
Yeah, the
dynamite
Reuben.
shrimp wrap is also very good.
Yeah, the Reuben here is really good. I haven't had anything bad here.
No, I have not either had anything bad. I was going to make a joke, but no, I can't do that anymore because I'm trying to go for a higher brow of comedy. That and this will be rewatched. So
Just going through looking at the notes here. So,
production value, you have show notes. I'm impressed.
yeah, I actually got notes and whatnot, which is a way better than the first two episodes that we've done so far. Those are more on the whim and fueled heavily on Jameson.
As it should be. Most good stuff comes from that.
Yeah.
I can't say the agency I work for though, because I'm not an authorized speaker.
You don't have to. You can just say generically what you do.
No, there's only one agency in Texas that does that.
Oh, okay. You can say adult babysitter.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I mean, adult babysitter doesn't sound half bad. There's writing on the wall, on the roof.
Yeah.
I haven't been that drunk to see the writing on the roof.
Yeah, it's a big map.
Is Rivendell on there?
No. I don't think they have room to put Mordor on it. It's a good pull though.
Would you like another one?
I'm here just to hang out with you, so whatever you want to do. Did you want to eat food?
Oh, of course.
I don't know what you want to do. I'm just kind of here hanging with my buddy.
Yeah, I'll do the fish and chips.
I'm seeing, I don't know if I told you, I'm seeing Neil Anderson tomorrow. We're going to hang out and have lunch.
Oh,
Neil?
how's he doing?
He's doing good.
I'm sure he's.
He had a stroke.
When?
A year and a half ago. And I
Poor
heard
guy.
about it shortly after. And he wasn't doing great, but he's had a lot of therapy. So now when I talk to him, you can't tell.
That's
there's
good.
anything. So he's got one kid in Arizona, basically married his other kid that was living here. He's engaged. He'll get married next month or next year. But I want to get with him because he does all the audio and the sound effects for all the houses at Horror Nights.
Thank you.
So we're going to get together and have lunch with him tomorrow. And then we're going to go to Horror Nights, me and the kids, that night. And then I'll leave there Friday to go to Tampa, see Howl Scream. And then
So they're doing Hollow Scream at SeaWorld now.
it's not the same.
I know.
It's not the same.
So
It's like buying seeing your friends got a pair of like Hey Dudes and you can't afford them, so you get Sup Bros. It's not the same thing.
Sup Bros. Was that the Payless brand?
I don't think
It should be a Payless
I don't think it
brand.
exists. It's a meme I
Yes.
saw.
Yeah. Still working on merchandise over here, so might have some Sup Bros at some point. So that's a pretty decent segue going into like the current events that are going on right now between the hurricane and have you heard of the dock strikes?
I have heard of the dock strikes.
That I'm not looking forward to.
That's cool, especially around here. And the interview I saw this morning is a guy that had a fresh like fish restaurant, like a fresh seafood restaurant right there, and he's like, I mean, except for the fishermen, that I don't know if they're on strike or not, but he made mention that a lot of that stuff he gets is right there from the docks. But a lot of the workers leave and they go to these restaurants and then they go home. But without them working, like that's a big portion of his business.
Oh
is
yeah.
just the workers.
So to give some context behind what we're talking about, as of October 2nd, 2024, there is currently a longshore strike or a longshoreman strike going on at all the ports from all the way up in Maine down to Texas, all along the eastern seaboard and Gulf of Mexico, which is something that I'm concerned with just because, I mean, think of all the freight that comes in.
That's a lot of
from overseas and whatnot. Now, they could probably bypass it by going through California and whatnot, and then shipping everything via truck over this direction. But
still costs going to go up.
You're looking at petroleum. You're looking at raw goods, finished goods, just anything that comes in a container, any vehicles that come over here. All that's going to be affected coming over to the eastern seaboard, which is a lot. I don't know. It's going to be a rough couple of weeks.
We're assuming it's going to last that long.
So I did a little bit of research before coming up here, and the union president did discuss the situation with the president of the United States, currently Biden, and Biden was not interested in talking to him.
I can't imagine Joe's interested in a whole lot of shit right now.
I don't think that he's even.
I think he's
doing
kind of mentally.
right now.
He's mentally checked out.
Like the past 25 years or so.
Look, if you had a job and you're like, look, I can't run and do this anymore, so I'm going to have my backup do it, who's campaigning for my job while I'm sitting in my job, and they're not going to force me out. I'm going through the motions at that point.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down and pretend I don't know what anyone's talking about, let my wife do all the heavy lifting, shake a few hands, kiss a few babies, talk to Netanyahu and say, slow it down over there. Or I'm not going to do anything right now. You wait till November, though, because it's going to change.
Of course, this would happen on an election year.
It always happens during election years.
Dude, crazy shit happens during election years.
Wait till it's October. There's always an October surprise in election years. Because
Well, I mean, we've already gone through it with, 2 attempted assassinations on Donald Trump in 2 months?
I mean, great job catching it as it happened.
Yeah.
But every time this happens, he was on our watch list.
Always. It's always on the watch list. You know how the second, which is strange that there was 2 times that it happened, but you know how they catch the second guy, right?
They saw the rifle pointing out through a bar or something like that.
Through a chain link fence.
Chain link fence.
And he was wearing a salmon color shirt.
Well, that's how you blend it on a golf course.
Oh, yeah, because of all the green.
It's camouflage.
Yeah.
And
You
then
blend
on
it by
golf
sticking
course.
out.
You wear that, bad khakis, and a Salt Life hat. Well, at least in Florida.
Yeah. Almost there, but not really. Kudos to the electric taped scope that was on there. Did you see that bit?
I didn't see much of the second guy's stuff. Once I saw it was another one, I just kind of rolled my eyes and I was like, Jesus Christ. But I did see the setup from the first kid. And I gotta tell you, there's a lot of Chinese stuff on there that we wouldn't have carried when we worked together.
Chinesium?
Oh my God. What's the name of that company that always has Chinese made rails and everything. And I just talked to a guy about them, and I can't believe that right now I'm a beer and a half in and I can't remember what it's called. But there's all sorts of small AR companies that put the cheapest stuff on it possible. And that was pretty much everything I saw on this kid's gun.
Well, anything that you get off of Amazon or Temu.
I had a Temu account for about an hour and a half. And number one, you can really overspend quickly on that. But the moment I started really looking into it, I'm like, this feels like I'm on the TikTok of like websites. So I just got rid of it really quick. And about a month later, they're like, oh yeah, Temu is about the same thing as TikTok, where the information name may not be completely safe.
Yeah.
So I was like,
well, I mean, that's part of the reason why we don't have a TikTok account on this channel.
I've never wanted to have a TikTok account.
Yeah, and nor do I. Granted, I understand that it's very popular with the young kids and whatnot, but we're here indulging on beers for like adult content.
We're not doing a TikTok dance trend.
No.
Nor would anyone want to see that.
No, not even a little bit. Not me, anyways. This guy, on the other hand, I've seen him cut a rug before.
That's a false statement. The only thing I've ever done when we've been out and there's been music and people dancing is me sitting in the corner at the bar, usually talking shit with you about everything else we're seeing.
Yeah. But I can run pretty quick with my shirt off.
That is a fact, and that is a story that I don't know if you're prepared to have go.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about it now. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I go viral because I ran up and down a bowling alley?
Don't bury the lead on it.
Just saying.
I'd start?
So, for context on this story, Ryan and I used to work together at a gun store over here in Winter Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known him for years prior to that as being a customer, but finally decided to go through and work up there because I thought that the discount would offset my paycheck.
Did not.
Not even a little
not
bit.
Even
but
close.
It was probably the most fun that I've had in the most, second most stressful situation.
So every month as the GM, I was given a certain amount of money to spend on team building. And me not being overtly creative with how I like to do things, yet still wanting to take care of my guys, one of the most convenient locations to go to was a very old family-owned bowling alley.
Not too far away.
Yeah, 5 minutes away. We could probably walk there
and stumble back.
Yeah, from this location. Very large facility, but we'd go there and there'd probably be 6, 7 of us. And we were having a great time. Someone kept buying pitchers of beer.
Buckets.
Which led to this decision. Thank you, Buckets.
Yeah, Buckets.
And at some point, Ray and I started talking smack to each other, and I said, I'll tell you what, if I get a strike, if you get a strike on this, we're on the very first lane. There's 17 lanes, maybe longer than that.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
20-some lanes. I said, if you strike on this, I'll have to take my shirt off and streak from here all the way down and all the way back.
Wall to wall.
And he did not. And then I turned to him and said, now, if I get a strike on this frame, you're going to have to do it. And God bless him, he said, okay. I think I bowled one strike that night, and it happened to be
that one.
And before I could turn around and celebrate that all 10 pins hit the ground, I already heard a woo! And turned and saw this impressive specimen, shirt already over his head and whipping it.
Probably
Probably terrible towel at a Steelers game. And to the shock and horror of a lot of people down these lanes who did not know what to do. But on our way back, my man was cheered. People were celebrating, jumping up and down, clapping. Wooing.
I almost knocked over a kid.
Twice.
There and back, too.
But the most impressive thing was that after he came back, we had 9 minutes left in our game. They put an extra 15 on that.
Yeah.
They tipped him.
Yeah. I brought the entertainment. Entertainment won.
I'll tell you what, that was worth 15 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It took 15 minutes for us to stop laughing about it.
Oh. Then we played pool afterwards. And that was a good time. Rough day at work the next day, but that was a good time.
Did we go to work that next day?
That was on a Friday.
So I did not.
Yeah,
have to
you
work.
didn't work. I did, on the other hand.
Perks.
Yes. Perks of being a manager at a gun store.
No, I don't need anonymous people to help me drink. I just like to know them by name.
No, yeah, same here. Hence the channel.
But yeah, I love that industry. But from being in that industry as long as I was, and I felt like that was forever, like 20 some years. I loved every bit of it. And I really got to learn not just selling stuff, because I didn't want to just sell something to sell something. I mean, I thought you figured that out. That I was like, well, what is it you want? What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
But being able to work on them, being able to understand them, kind of like, yeah, I sell cars, but now I can work on them too. I always enjoyed that. Because I lucked into the ability of turning a hobby into a career. And not a lot of people can do that. But I also did it fully knowing that I'm never going to be able to retire doing this. I'm going to work to the day I die. But I never felt like I was going to work. I was always hanging out with my buddies, selling guns, helping people figure out what they need, helping them learn, getting their license, fixing them. And I always loved doing it until I didn't. And I think it was a very
switch moment.
It was a switch moment. Customers always right. Not always. Sometimes they're just.
So the full saying behind that is the customer's always right, depending on the product that you have on the shelf. They dictate your product. Doesn't mean that they're right for being a dick.
Correct. But the moment I stopped doing that and started doing what I do now, I don't have that stress level anymore. Ironic that I work at a far more dangerous profession, but
Adult babysitter.
basically, 6'4" violent toddlers. But I go home and I don't have the same level of stress. Like, oh shit, I forgot to get that order in, or I got to check on the status of this, or what is this thing getting fixed, or the same guy is going to come through tomorrow and talk about the same bullshit that I don't care about. I go home, I don't have to worry about that.
You just check out.
I don't check out. I mean, I do legitimately care, but
so when I say check out, it's not like that you're constantly worrying what's happening on the background. Like,
well, you do and you don't. Like, for me, it's different now. Like, for me, I still worry about the people that are still there on different shifts. Did I leave? I have inmates that work for me, but I don't do the traditional correctional officer stuff. Albeit I do, because I'm on every block and every pipe chase every day. But I don't have to run a block every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not directly responsible for saying, okay, you're going to go to this pod and you're going to run these however many inmates might be on whatever pod, and make sure they're getting their showers and they're getting fed and there's no fights in the day rooms. They're doing
no human right violations are happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we fix things. So as long as the stuff I have on my list for that day we address or I've assigned it, I'm fine. And I feel better going home knowing that I can see that I've actually fixed stuff. 90% is going to get broken that night because inmates will inmate. But the other stuff that legitimately you actually get someone that's like, hey, thank you for taking care of that because I just moved here and it legitimately wasn't working. I didn't have any water or whatever the case is. Yeah, I feel better about that. And I feel good about the interactions I have with the inmates that work for me, because I do believe that rehabilitation and reintegrating them back into society starts with not treating them all like pieces of shit animals all day long.
Well, I mean, animals is probably they don't have PETA. They don't have PETA.
But I mean, there are some you legitimately cannot get through, and you're not going to. They've got another 50 years in the system. They're 45 years old. They're never getting out. You're not going to be able to reach them. But the ones that have certain jobs and that you know what their story is because you can look them up. Everyone can look up stuff. But once you start understanding, okay, this guy has been in here for 17 years. He's a year and a half away from seeing his probation, which he may or may not get, but you can tell there's a different change. I want to see my kids. I screwed up when I was this young. I did dumb shit.
They're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
They're starting to. And now that they've been doing a certain job for a while, that's their skill set to go on when they get out. So if I can treat them not as an employee-employer situation, but I mean, you're familiar with how I treated my guys. I didn't have a real hierarchy. I mean, I treat everyone like, hey, if you want to do this, I'll teach you how to do this. This is easy. But understanding I'm in a certain uniform, you're in a certain uniform, there's rules we're going to follow, but I'm not going to talk down to you all day long and treat you like a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
Also because they've got hammers and pipe wrenches that they can turn and beat the shit out of me with, and I've got pepper spray. So there's a certain massaging that you have to do and how you communicate effectively, and still have them do what you need them to. Because I don't really lift a finger to fix anything; they do all the heavy lifting for me. So I understand that. Mm-hmm. Like they all said, "Fuck it, we're not coming in." Okay, well, I mean, you can get out of place case, that's fine. But I also need them to perform. So there's always a balancing act you do to stay within policy and still do what society expects you to do.
Right.
In your position.
No, which I mean, that's a big thing with the younger generation coming up. Like, I wouldn't say that there's a sense of entitlement that goes along with them, but the entitlement that they have
is ridiculous.
Oh, it really is. Because, I mean, these are kids that grew up never being spanked, never being punished.
Everyone gets a trophy.
Everyone gets a trophy. Like, it's a sad place that we're in, because if you go through and reward mediocrity, you're always going to get mediocrity.
And then that becomes complacent and you get far less.
Mm-hmm.
I have kids that are working with me half my age, and it pains me to be able to say I know kids that work with me that are half my age. But they legitimately are, and their work ethic is terrible. They call out because, well, it's my Friday, so I want to have a longer weekend. Well, that's retarded.
Thank you.
I'm there, my shift never stops. I'm Monday through Friday. Fortunately, I lucked into a great position. But if you know, you can count it. 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:15. I mean, I'm supposed to be there at 6:30. Mm-hmm. But I'm there Monday till Friday. I don't miss days. You see me. I don't like calling out. Mm. I feel guilty for taking 2 weeks off to come here and see my kids and see my family and do horror nights and see my buddies like you and a few others. But I know that when I go back, I'll still have work. I'll still have shit that I'm going to catch back up on. But
yeah, I mean, yeah.
I could have taken 6 weeks off. But I don't know what to do for 6 weeks other than sit around and do nothing and hang out with my dog.
I barely know what to do with, 4 days off.
I know what to do. It's nothing. And I appreciate just sitting there doing nothing, having a
enjoying quiet.
Peace and fucking quiet.
It's such a weird commodity anymore.
My dog, and just, God forbid I say it because I'm 46, Xbox, Madden, college football, whatever. I enjoy that. And I don't bother anyone, and no one bothers me. And I'll go out, cook some food for myself, for the dog, for whoever wants to pop by, which very rarely happens. But I just enjoy the peaceful life now, which has not always been my modus operandi. Mm-hmm. God, it's so much nicer. Just doing nothing. But when I go to work, I go to work. When we go to work hard.
So that's the thing. You enjoy doing nothing because you work so hard to get to that point.
I've also been around so many other people that, if you're off, hey man, we're going to go here, we're going to go here, we're going to go here, we're going to go here. And that's fine. There are people that when they wake up, they don't want to be here. They want to go out and experience everything. I've done all that shit. That's fine. I don't mind. Go to the beach, go to a bar, go to a restaurant, hell, we lived here for so long. Go to the theme parks. Fuck, I've worked in every theme park in Central Florida. And to be honest, one of the best jobs I ever had was working at Jaws, which sadly is now buried underneath Harry Potter, which breaks my fucking heart. But that was fighting a rubber shark 8 hours a day for 2.5 years. Some of the best stories of my life that I ever had fighting a rubber shark.
Every day.
Every day. Too much so that I actually had a replica Amity Boat Tour shirt made. When I go out, I'm like, yeah, just a piece of my history. But I mean, just little shit like that, you look back on and you're like, yeah, but that was fun. Yeah, but you've done this, you ran this, you got promoted to do this, you're doing this now, but you take on different roles and you wear different hats, but there's always that one thing you look back and you're like, yeah, that was fun. Being a college kid around a bunch of other college kids using a fake 40 millimeter grenade launcher
to launch it.
Yeah, fighting little plumes of water that jump up in a rubber shark, and it's really funny when the rubber shark doesn't do what the rubber shark's supposed to do. It doesn't even show up, and you have to pretend like, that was pretty fucking cool, right? I shot nothing.
And nothing happened. We all love it.
So many ways to die on that ride. Because that thing, when it moved through the water, it had to go through the force of a 747 at takeoff because all the latex on the machinery and hydraulics. So due to water displacement, if you were on one of the head sharks that came up and you were in front of it, you could get sucked under and then reset on. And I've seen it happen to a bird. So that's why I rather wear kill switches, but they weren't comfortable. So if you fall off, the ride stops. That happened once. Not to me.
To someone, though.